What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday. We're going to talk a little bit about Sword and Shield and just the market in general. I think a lot of what happened this week really doesn't surprise me that much. There are a couple things that stand out that I think we should talk about. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to have a little bit of a conversation about a couple sets that, in my opinion, might be a little overvalued or undervalued. I don't know. I just want to throw it out there. I'm not saying definitively that's what's going on, but I just want to start the conversation. So to begin, we'll look at Sword and Shield base. I mean, this really isn't doing too much. I think there was a few more boxes listed this week, couple more sales too. It's doing its thing. There's really nothing to talk about here. Same deal with Rebel Clash. Boxes, I think in like the 450, 460 range in terms of listed. Lowest listed, there really isn't too much going on here. A couple sales a week. Again, not really doing anything too interesting. Darkness Ablaze is getting fairly close to $300 now, so I think that's something to point out. This was a box for the longest time that was stuck around $150, $140. We'd actually seen it move down, I think, over like a 6-month period. Just nobody wanted Darkness Ablaze, and then from November onwards, it's basically doubled, right? So pretty good deal for a box that was $150 and has absolutely no value in it outside of one Charizard chase card. So moving on, Vivid Voltage. This is a box, again, that really wasn't super desired there for a long period of time. Obviously got lots of reprints. Out the gate, it was super hot during COVID, but since then, it's definitely lost a lot of popularity, and same sort of deal. Since November, December, it's just taken off from around 140. We're now up to around 250. And my guess would be that something like Vivid Voltage is probably going to get to $300 by the end of the year, just based on what I'm seeing. And again, that's kind of crazy to say. Like if I had to go back to January and someone told me that Vivid Voltage was going to be $300 by the end of 2025, I probably wouldn't believe them. Now, before we go any further and look at the alt art sets, I did want to jump in here and give a shout out to today's video sponsor, the Shiny app. Guys, whether you're investing in Pokemon, you're collecting Pokemon or some other TCGs, you need to know what you have at all times. That's where Shiny comes in. It's a mobile app for you to track your investments and your collection. In Pokemon specifically, they cover English, Japanese, and simplified Chinese, but they also cover other games like Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, One Piece, Disney Lorcana, Sorcery, and now Gundam. I'm telling you guys, it is the best app out there in terms of user experience, and Shiny is trying to update their data more frequently than anyone else. They're updating twice a day from places like TCG Player, eBay, Card Market, and price charting. And the best part about the app is that it's absolutely free. So I'll leave links to the Google Play and App Store in the description and pin comment down below. And thanks again to Shiny for sponsoring the video. Now moving on to Battle Styles, this, similar to Vivid Voltage, is a set I think is going to reach $300 by the end of the year. And honestly, when I look at these two, I think Battle Styles is probably going to get there a lot quicker. It might even get there within the next month or so. As ridiculous as that sounds, it's still in a position where it could move up. A decent sell-through rate. I think when I actually looked at all the boxes, Battle Styles might have been the best-selling one over the past 7 days on eBay North America. And Battle Styles still moving up kind of makes sense to me just because the Tyranitar and I think some of the other alternate cards or whatever are making a move. It's not a huge move, but they are definitely moving upwards in price. So it does make sense to me. Chilling Reign, this is a box that has definitely slowed down. I think we talked about this last week. And this also makes sense to me just compared to a lot of the other alt art sets. It just seems like it's not as desirable. People aren't buying it at the frequency they're buying other sets like Fusion Strike or Lost Origin or even Brilliant Stars. Evolving Skies, this is actually probably going to surprise a lot of you, but I think people are taking their foot off the gas when it comes to buying Evolving Skies right now. And not too much, right? Like we're not going from 100 to 0 instantly, but people are easing off a little bit. And to me, that makes a little bit of sense. Obviously, it's the best set from the Sword and Shield era. It's going to be probably a $5,000 box, a $10,000 box one day. I feel fairly confident in saying that, but it also has had a huge run up. We're up about 40% over the past 3 months from around $1,800. Over the past year, it's up 266%. And I think currently people are looking at other eras of the hobby and maybe even other sets in the Sword and Shield era as better value, and that is where they're putting their dollars. And one of those sets actually is Fusion Strike, surprisingly. Obviously, I think everyone knows Fusion's a very great set at this point, but it's still only 30 to 35% of the market price compared to something like Evolving Skies. So when people are looking at these sets, currently I do believe that people are favoring Fusion Strike. It's kind of the same thing with Lost Origin or Brilliant Stars. These just look like more attractive options right now to certain people. And we can look at sales volume to kind of confirm that. Brilliant Stars was actually up over the past 7 days, and sets like Evolving Skies. I think Fusion was down a bit as well, but not by too much. It was still in a fairly strong range. But Brilliant Stars was up. I believe Lost Origin was up. And then Silver Tempest, which I think I talked about last week, getting to $500 fairly shortly. That wouldn't surprise me. I think there's only like a couple boxes listed on eBay North America below $500. So it's basically there. And I know TCG Player says 450-ish dollars, recent sales, 460, 495. I think we're going to see this box consistently push $500 here fairly quickly. Again, I'm open to changing my mind about that prediction if the data changes, if more boxes come to market, but just based on what I'm seeing right now, that seems like it's very likely going to happen. So I just wanted to throw that out there. And then the final set, and I know we weren't going in order, but this is going to lead in kind of to the conversation today. Astral Radiance, still sitting around $383. Recent sales on TCG Player, you do have a couple that are reaching $400, but on eBay, there still are a decent amount of boxes listed around like 350, 360, 370. And it also just isn't selling. And this is surprising to me. I think there was maybe only like 7 or 8 sales over the past 7 days by It Now North America. And we're at a point now where basically every single alternate art set in the Sword and Shield era moved over the past month or so with this leg up. But Astral Radiance has not done that at all. It stayed around $375, $380. And I'm not saying this is 100% the case, but we're at a point now where Obsidian Flames is selling for like $340, $350. 151 ETBs, the regular ones, are $400. The Paldean Fates ETB, I know it says $270, but most recent sales are basically $300 on this. So we're just getting to a point where I look at some of these boxes and sets from the Scarlet and Violet era, and I just question, right? I'm not saying with 100% certainty, but I'm starting to wonder whether Astral Radiance is looking undervalued compared to some of these. I mean, this is a box that came out May 2022. It's 3.5 years old, and it's basically the same price as Obsidian Flames booster boxes are. And when you look at the card list inside, I know Astral Radiance, you don't have a crazy top chase, you have that Machamp V, but I think when you look at the supporting cast in Astral, and again, like, you could even argue the top hit in Astral is better than the Charizard, but when you look at the supporting cast, you have the Starmie V Trainer Gallery with Misty, you have Palkia, Dialga, Garchomp, the Beedrill's pretty cool. You compare that to something like Obsidian Flames, I don't know, guys. It's getting to that point where I'm really starting to doubt whether Astral Radiance is fairly priced. And again, I'll be the first to say, because this has always been what I've told you guys, and I still genuinely believe this, the best sets are going to do well long term. They're going to outperform Evolving Skies, Fusion, Lost Origin. The data is there. When you look at annualized ROI, the top sets of every era do much better than the median and average set does. But at the same time, there are always going to be opportunities where when a box is, quote, undervalued or perceived to be undervalued, in the shorter term, maybe over a 6-month to 12 to 18-month period, you're going to have better returns on it, or it just makes sense to buy certain things over another one. And I think when we compare Astral Radiance at this point to some of these Scarlet and Violet era sets, to me, it's starting to seem that way. But if you guys disagree, definitely leave a comment down below. That's really all I wanted to get to in this video. If you guys got some value out of it, I'd really appreciate if you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment for the algorithm. Also, if you are shopping eBay TCG Player Hobbiesville, affiliate links down below as always. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.